हेलो गाइस, वेलकम टू पाकिस्तानी रियल रिएक्शन। तो कैसे हैं आप सब? उम्मीद है आप सब बढ़िया होंगे और मजे में होंगे। मेरा नाम है मुदस्सर।
मुबशिर। सो गाइस, आज की वीडियो का टाइटल है मोदीज ओथ सेरेमनी, सैडेस्ट कंट्रीज एंड हैप्पीएस्ट कंट्रीज। आज मोदी जी की ओथ सेरेमनी है और कौन से कंट्रीज बहुत ज्यादा खुश हैं और कौन से कंट्रीज इसके ऊपर बहुत ज्यादा गमज़दा हैं, उनकी लिस्ट आई है। तो बहुत ज्यादा कैरोलिना गोस्वामी मैम की ये वीडियो है, बहुत ही कमाल यार इनका एनालिस्ट होता है। तो यार बिना किसी
चैनल को लाजमी
सब्सक्राइब कीजिए। देखते हैं भाई कौन से कंट्री बहुत खुश हैं और कौन से खफा हैं। तो स्टार्ट।
Mr. Modi is about to restart his journey as the Prime Minister of India for the third time in a row. But there are at least 9 countries in the world where many are very angry or very disappointed because of this. And there are several countries in the world where they seem to be quite happy about this. Want to know who those countries are? Well, let's start with the countries where they seem disappointed. Qatar. The Qatari media outlet Al Jazeera is known for its anti-India position that seems clearly against India's territorial integrity. The media outlet is also known for its Islamist viewpoint. Unfortunately, due to that, in multiple ways, it is contributing to the presence of Modiphobia and Hinduphobia among many. Modi is seen as a leader who has made many Hindus proud of their roots, identity and culture. And of course, expansionism-seeking religions do not fancy that. Number 8. Well, do not be surprised. It is the USA. We should understand that the re-arrival of Mr. Modi can be a major issue for the American missionaries who have been working hard to complete the task of the total evangelization of the world. Besides that, this Russian media outlet published an article that cited a report claiming that a huge amount of money was used to interfere in India's general election. The report claimed that a lot of those activities involved Americans or US-based entities. The same report was also cited by several Indian media outlets. As they say, being America's friend or his enemy can be equally dangerous. Number 7. Maldives. For many Maldivians and even for the Maldivian constitution, it seems to be all about Sunni Islam. Mohamed Muizzu, president of the Maldives. Well, what can I say here? Many feel that this man is just embarrassing himself. Others feel that after pursuing such a massive anti-India campaign in his country by congratulating Mr. Modi and considering the possibility coming to India to attend Modi's oath-taking ceremony, he seems to be regretting what he has done and is now in a careful damage control mode. Number 6. Turkey. Turkey has a genocidal track record. Apart from oppressing Christians, it has even persecuted Muslim minorities. Turkish media outlets seem to hesitate when it comes to describing the pre-Islamic Hindu heritage of India that was destroyed when parts of India were brutally Islamized. Its narrative on Kashmir seems quite twisted. Perhaps Modi is at the center stage of Hindu revivalism, and that cannot be tolerated easily by many. Number 5. China. China's worst nightmare is to see India and the USA coming together to contain China's global ambition. In multiple ways, that nightmare is becoming a reality, and perhaps that's why, regarding India, China has softened its stance to an extent. This softer tone can be observed in articles such as these. As reported in the Global Times, when Taiwan's regional leader Lai Ching-te congratulated Modi on his election win, the dragon released fumes. The article reminds India of the so-called One China principle, but it seems the dragon has forgotten that it is sitting illegally on land that belongs to India. Number 4. Pakistan. Severe identity crisis, terrorism and hatred for their own pre-Islamic roots have impacted the country a lot. During Mr. Modi's tenure, many in India say, "Ghar mein ghus ke marenge." And as expected, Mr. Modi's zero tolerance for terrorism has shaken the nefarious, terror-friendly ambitions of the country that is facing bankruptcy. Number 3. France. Don't be surprised. Some in the geopolitical circles are starting to see this country as India's frenemy. Yes, selling Rafale and aircrafts to India can be a profitable business, but deep down, seeing a former colony from the global south emerging as the voice of many in Africa, France, as a colonial criminal state, feels nervous. Very nervous. Besides that, in Russia's context, India's independent foreign policy under the leadership of Mr. Modi has created a major geopolitical headache for France. After all, a colonial criminal state would prefer a puppet government, not an independent government, right? It seems that when Modi won, some French media sharks lost. To learn more about France's ongoing colonial crimes, please watch this. Number 2. Canada. Many are starting to see this Western colonial criminal state as an emerging global hub of terrorism and an established safe haven for criminals. There is no doubt that the Khalistan issue has damaged ties between India and Canada. Despite India's multiple requests, Canada has not taken sufficient action against the terrorists who want to harm India. The irony is that Mr. Trudeau, who has been referred to as a narcissistic, controlling, fascist sociopath and has been humiliated globally in relation to some severe human rights violations, has the audacity to mention human rights in his so-called congratulatory message to Mr. Modi. To learn more about Canada's hidden dark side, please watch this. And finally, Germany, a genocidal colonial criminal state that claims or pretends to be a liberal democracy, but acts more like a hybrid theocratic state with a neo-Nazi twist. Something that I explained very well in this video. A must-watch. Tensions triggered between India and Germany due to Berlin's nefarious attempt to interfere when a politician facing corruption charges was arrested in India. Deutsche Welle's one-sided coverage during the election didn't help either. It seems that Germany, due to its misconduct, is gradually emerging as India's #1 frenemy. Now quickly, let's go through the list of the countries where many seem to be happy about Mr. Modi's re-arrival. Suriname. Not everyone knows this, but Suriname has a very big population of Indian origin. Many of them are Hindus and support Modi. Mauritius. As mentioned here, according to the 2011 census, approximately 48% of the population is Hindu. The Prime Minister of Mauritius, Pravind Kumar Jugnauth, has already sent a congratulatory message. Sri Lanka. After learning a tough Chinese lesson about the death trap, many sane voices in the island nation have learned how important India is for them. This congratulatory message coming from Sri Lanka was expected. India, Africa and the Caribbean region share a common history when it comes to exploitation or looting by the Western colonial criminal Christian states. Instead of properly apologizing and returning the looted money and wealth, the colonial criminal states, in one way or another, continue to shame their victims. Tired of this victim shaming and neo-colonization, many in the global south see India as a powerful voice that has a potential to help them get justice. In this context, multiple congratulatory messages from this part of the world were expected, and of course, Mr. Modi received them. And finally, Russia. There was a time when the Soviet Union was actively looking to influence India's socio-political landscape, even though that was compromising India's sovereignty. Now, the times have changed. Facing a big crisis in Ukraine and understanding that India is reclaiming its superpower status, Russia is even more desperate to have India on its side. Putin praising Modi or congratulating him can be seen in this context. Also, it must be pointed out, from the Italian Giorgia Meloni to several others in the Western world, greed-driven geopolitical and financial interests contributed to their prompt congratulatory messages for Mr. Modi. Of course, this is not a complete list. Who else do you think should be included and why?
यार बहुत ही कमाल लिस्ट बनाई है मैम ने यार देखा जाए
यार मैं पता है वो जो खुश नहीं है ना मैं उसमें सबसे ज्यादा हैरान पता है किस
फ्रांस पे मैं
फ्रांस में हूँ
वो भी लेकिन भाई पिछले दिनों उसने फायदा उठाने के लिए ना भारत से वो जो उधर खुद भी होसाया राफेल की प्राइस डबल कर दिया मतलब $100 मिलियन का था तो $200 मिलियन कर दिया कि भारत भाई तरस रहा है राफेल के लिए भारत के पास बड़े से बड़े ऑप्शन है भारत कुछ भी ले सकता है
और अमेरिका पे भी मैं थोड़ा ज्यादा नहीं थोड़ा सा हैरान हूँ
यार भाई अमेरिका पता है मैं क्यों हैरान हूँ भाई उसका थोड़ा सा है वो कभी अगर मोदी जी अक्सर बातें नहीं सुनते ना उनकी वो अक्सर बोलते हैं सैंक्शन का भी बोलते हैं या कुछ मतलब बोलते हैं तो इंडिया कोई भाव नहीं देता इंडिया उल्टा उनको जवाब भी दे देता है उनकी सुनता नहीं है
बाकी जितने कंट्रीज थे ना कतर तुर्की मालदीव पाकिस्तान मोइजू आया मेरे ख्याल से यार मुझे जितना लगता है
गाइस कंफर्म करना है वो तो अभी तक आया नहीं
उसके बाद
पाकिस्तान चाइना जर्मनी कनाडा का ट्रूडो कनाडा
उसके बाद यूएसए
ये इनको दर्द पड़ा हुआ है भाई
मैं फ्रांस और यूएसए पे थोड़ा सा लेकिन बाकी सारे ठीक थे
और लेकिन दूसरी तरफ देखा जाए मॉरिशस श्रीलंका बांग्लादेश भूटान जमैका
श्रीलंका
इटली मतलब यूरोप के कितने देश का हाँ भाई इजराइल ये सारे बहुत से खुश
यार खुश कौन सा कंट्री है आपकी नजर में ये बताओ मेरे नजर में तो ये जो मैंने और भी ऑस्ट्रेलिया
और भी बहुत सारे देश
बहुत सारे कंट्रीज हैं यार बहुत यूएई सऊदी अरब ये सारे
आपके कहने से क्या कहना है आपके क्या कहना है अपने कमेंट सेक्शन में दे वो तो ज्यादा ख्याल रखना यार